What is going on, guys? It is your boy Coinmaster Flex, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I am planning to, start accumulating Bitcoin. And I'm going to tell you guys signs of when the bottom is forming. And I'm telling you right now, if you stick around all the way to the end of this video, I am almost guaranteeing you're going to learn something new. And if some of you guys really understand it, you're going to be thanking me. So let's not waste any time here and let's get right into the video. So how do we know where the bottom is, and how do we see signs of the bottom forming? So the first thing I like to do is actually look at previous bear markets and try to see what happens in them, and then apply them to the bear market that we're in now, and basically get an idea of where the bottom is. So without further ado, let's go to the last bear market. Huge uptrend, and then the bear market started. So the first thing I like to do is actually take a look at what's going on. And the first thing that I observe is that the EMA is literally acting like a support. We see a lot of bounces in bull markets. So when there's a bull market, it bounces and it's support, and in bear markets, it acts as resistance. So that's the first thing that comes right to mind. And the next thing that happens is, the RSI is a very powerful tool, and I like to use it a lot. So the first thing that we see as we're coming down is that during this downtrend, we start seeing bullish divergence right here. The RSI is making a higher high while price is making a lower low. So that is actually something to, look at immediately. And how do we know how far this is going to go? Because we can see that this area right here is a previous support. So you might want to start stacking in this area. I like to stack my orders and buy into strength. I don't ever buy with all my capital at once. I just don't see the strategy behind that. It's your probability of winning goes up way more when you're ladder buying. But as we can see here, right, once we made this low, we bounced up, we hit rejection off the 55 EMA. We also hit rejection off of this trend line on the RSI. We see us come down, right? And as we're coming down, we know that we're starting to form bullish divergence on the RSI. We know that we're forming bullish divergence because price action is matching too. And as it's coming down, you're like, where do you start buying? There's no exact bottom. Don't try to catch the bottom, because you're never going to catch the bottom. But as we're coming down, literally, this is a very ideal area to start stacking your buy orders. Stack your buy orders, because it's a very good idea. And as you can see, it was a perfect area to be at, because we literally hit volume climax, which is basically it basically tells us that the sellers have gotten tired of selling, and a huge rejection from the downside, pushing the price back upwards. So right there, that's the first thing that is a major hint: bullish divergence and volume climax. After that happened, we saw an accumulation phase, right? It's not as volatile, but it's ranging. So that's the second thing, right? We made a higher high over here after this bullish divergence. And the reason why that's good is because this happened first, right? We saw one bullish thing, and then we saw the next bullish thing. We saw a divergence, a rejection from the bottom with volume climax, and then we saw a high over here. And after that happened, we saw probably the best thing that we want to see is volume with massive buying pressure, right? This right here, this confirmation from this volume is absolutely very good. We need this kind of volume on this kind of uptrend, because this is almost the opposite, right? Right here we see a wick pushing off from the downward, from the bottom, and then from here we see the price going up, but it gets rejected. You don't ever break resistance on the first try. You have to break it. You have to hit it once, and then the second time you're gonna smash right through it, as we saw here. We start breaking it right through like nothing, and that's pretty much what we want to see. We see bullish divergence, accumulation, and then we want to see the confirmation, like bam, right there with volume and buying pressure. And also, like I said earlier, the EMA acts as support in bull markets. So how do we apply that to over here? The way we apply it is because right now we are literally seeing, we saw all these touches, support in the bull market and resistance in the bear market on this EMA. Right now, I believe that we are starting to diverge because literally we made a lower low. What the heck is this? Oh yeah, we made a lower low and higher high. But I personally don't think this is the bottom because there's just not enough liquidity here, and I just personally feel like the RSI is just gonna have a bounce up coming up like this, get rejected and come down, and come do something like this, and then I believe we'll be in a bull market. And I just don't think that when the price is coming down, as it starts diverging, that 3,000 is the lowest that we're going. I personally believe that we're gonna come down to 1,200. This is a very, very good region to buy. The 1,200 region is a very, very strong region to buy. But I could be wrong. That's why it's so important that you ladder your buys. But even if you miss 1,200, there's gonna be an accumulation phase that happens. So that's why it's so important to be very, very active in watching what happens. So we might see an accumulation phase after 1,200, like something like this, right? We might see a higher high happen in this area over this. And like I said, the last thing that confirms everything is going to be volume. It's going to break above, maybe a wick or not, but we're going to want to see volume and then a retest, right? Right here, we saw a retest. We broke up and then we had a retest on the previous high over here. So you still have chances to buy. You don't want to miss a huge bull market like this over a couple $100. It's very silly. So even if it doesn't come down to 1,200, that's okay, because watch for the other stage, like stage 2, that there's going to be accumulation and then there's going to be massive buying with massive volume and then a retail. You could buy in the pullback, but I'm personally going to start stacking when it starts diverging more. I want to see a bigger gap, over here on this area right here. Look at this gap. This is a big gap from here to here. From this end to this end, that's a huge gap, and this is a big gap too. I like to see a bigger gap when it's diverging because it just makes it that much stronger. So this is just so tiny. What is this? I don't think that's the bottom. I just really don't think that is. It's not enough. It's just not enough. I don't know if you can tell by my voice. I'm just like, nah, man, go lower, man. I actually wanted to go lower, even though people were like, no, Bitcoin. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. That's pretty much my thoughts, and simply because of these three things that happen, I'm gonna wait for those three things to happen here. It's very, very simple. You just gotta be very strict, have a set of rules, and follow them. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to follow me for more information, you guys can check out my Twitter. I'm definitely going to watch this video in the first quarter of next year in 2019, because that's when I believe this is all gonna happen. And I'm gonna look back at this video and just laugh, man, because if I'm right, I'm just gonna laugh. But I have a strong feeling that this is the way it works, man, because I've seen this in so many markets. This is not just cryptocurrencies. If you look at all markets, there is a divergence, accumulation, and then volume. But yep, thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.